All right, we got PTA Hoops, episode 1. We're going to talk about some trade talk here. We had the Harden move, Jaren Jackson, Giannis on the move, all that good stuff. We got some West and Eastern Conference tier lists, and then we're going to give some mid-season awards with the All-Star break coming up here soon. But let's hop right into the trade talk. What are we feeling? What are our thoughts? We had a few trades today. We got Giannis up in the air still, maybe AD on the move.
Yeah, I just don't think it makes any sense for the Bucks to do anything with Giannis until the summer. Like, I think you kind of have to see how draft stuff pans out, and just like get a better feel overall for what you can get. I think there's no rush with the Bucks either. Like, any move you make right now isn't gonna do much for your team this year anyway. Um, and then with AD, I don't. I mean, I would love AD to move sooner than the summer. But just like overall feel that I have, and just like I haven't heard anything about that trade in 3 weeks, 4 weeks, a month. So I don't see him going anywhere anytime soon either.
No, I completely agree. If you're the Bucks, I think it's moronic to not wait until the summer. One, a lot of the teams that are going to be trying to trade for him, a lot of them have traded most of their picks. The Wolves, the Heat, like those are kind of especially the Wolves. We've been hearing a ton of stuff about them. They don't have a lot of their picks left. If you wait till the summer, it unlocks like that next year, I think, because you get to go out 7 years of draft picks. So you unlock another first that you can trade. So you're able to get more picks. Then you can do an extra swap too. And you just give the teams a lot more flexibility with the hard cap and the luxury tax now, which is so punitive for teams. If you wait until the summer, it's a lot more flexible with what you can do. I mean, right now, I think the Warriors are like the only team that has all their picks that are really kind of interested in Giannis right now that can offer the best pick package for him. Obviously, like if the Spurs were interested right now, you'd have to really look at that because of the young pieces they could throw in. But if they're not willing to throw in Harper or Castle, like I don't know if I really want any of their picks unless they're other teams' picks because they're going to be awesome. And then you're getting like Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, and whatever. I think for Giannis, the best spot's the Wolves. I would love to see Anthony Edwards and Giannis play together in Minnesota. And the other thing, if you're Giannis, you're already in Wisconsin. You've been in a small city up around the Midwest for your whole career. He's not going to be a guy's like, oh, I'm going to Minnesota. It's like, well, it's a bigger market than Milwaukee, so it's not far. He doesn't have to move across the country. And you get Ant and Giannis together, that's not only super exciting, but just an absolute deadly duo for the next 5 years in the league. I think that would be the move I'm looking at if I'm Giannis. And then on the flip side, you could get like Julius Randle, Jaden McDaniels, maybe Naz Reid. You unlock that pick, in the summer. You get a bunch of swaps, throw in Rob Dillingham. Like there's a package there that could work. So I really like the Timberwolves for Giannis, but I think this move has to wait until June or July.
Just for the record, if they did trade with the T-Wolves, so the T-Wolves do own their pick this year. So if you made the trade before draft day, you could get that. But it is a swap. But you get the favorable swap with San Antonio, so you get that pick. You could also get the 28 pick, and then the 30 pick, which you got to go because you got to go 2 years.
Right.
You can get that pick. So you could get up to 3 or 4 picks from Minnesota, but it's like, do you really want Minnesota's picks though? If you're the Bucks, like they're not going to be any good.
No.
If I'm the Bucks, I think it's Golden State. Like, especially if, like you said, you go into the offseason and you can get another future Golden State pick that's all of a sudden, I think it would be 2033 would be unlocked.
Or 34.
I mean,
maybe.
that's got to be one of the hottest assets immediately in the NBA if you are able to go get that pick. Like all these other teams, it's just the picks aren't going to be worth much.
Yeah, I like him going to Golden State. My only issue with that is like that window is so small. I mean, like how many more years does Curry really genuinely have? And then after that, like if you're Giannis, are you just staying in Golden State and they're building around you for the next 5 years after that, or are you moving again? Like, what does that look like after Curry kind of fades? And I'm not saying Curry's ever going to fade into like, I mean, he's still going to be Steph Curry, but I just think if he goes to Minnesota, his window is 5 to 7 years. Where if he goes to Golden State, that's like a 1 to 3 year window.
Well, I also like if he goes to Golden State, they're not winning the championship. They're not even getting. They might not even get out of the second round with Giannis because they're gonna have to gut their team.
Well, I mean, Minnesota's
give up
going to
all
have to
their
gut.
picks.
I mean, any team that gets it is going to have to gut a lot of the
But I
team.
mean, if you're Minnesota, like Julius Randle's a really good player.
You're
like,
probably going to have to trade Julius.
No,
for him
I'm
to
no,
match
but
his
that's what
salary.
I'm saying. But like, you've got Jaden McDaniels, you've got Naz Reid, you've got Dante DiVincenzo, you've got Gobert. Like, you've got a lot of pieces there. Where like, I mean, if you're Golden State and you trade Draymond, Pods, Moses Moody, Post, whatever else you have in all your picks, like, what is left of your team? It's literally just Steph, Jimmy Butler, and Giannis, and then a bunch of nothing. Like, I just don't think. I don't know how that team competes with the Thunder and the Nuggets, in the playoffs when they're going 8 deep and you really only have 3 or 4 players you trust.
I mean, if you're Golden State, though, it's like, because I think Steph's probably got another, 2 or 3 more, like, pretty good years, probably. I think he's got at least 2 more good years.
Yeah.
I'd say.
I think 3 is like the very top.
Yeah, if he's got 3 more years and then you don't make a move, I mean, they're not going to be competing for the rest of his career. That's for damn sure. And then you kind of just like hanging around in mediocrity for the next 3-4 seasons until Steph goes. And all of a sudden, at that point, obviously, you have the draft capital. You can go reevaluate. But it's like, I feel like they're almost like we owe Steph at least this one last hoorah of going for it. And I think they could compete if they are able to offload Jimmy Butler's contract and hold on to Draymond and some of the other pieces. Because Butler's contract would be the ideal one because that could match Giannis's 1-for-1. So, I mean, Jimmy and then all those picks. And if I'm Milwaukee, that might be the package I want, honestly. It's the only really team out there you're going to get potential really good picks. Otherwise, you're looking at salary filler and picks and swaps that probably aren't going to do much for you in the future.
The other one that I've been interested in this one for 2 years now, and it's the Thunder. If the Thunder don't win let's say he doesn't get traded at the deadline. So we moved into the summer. Let's say the Thunder don't win. They get clipped by the Nuggets. They get clipped by the Spurs. Maybe they lose in the finals to the Pistons or Celtics or whoever. Their numbers with Jalen Williams and without Jalen Williams are pretty staggering. They're like 30, like 5-3 when Jalen Williams doesn't play. And like when he does, they're still great. They're like 90-25. But when he doesn't play, they're like the greatest team of all time.
Yeah, statistically they're better.
Yeah, they're better when he doesn't play. And like also if you're Milwaukee, you would love to get Jalen Williams as the center of your package because then he's your all-star for the next 10 years on top of the immense amount of draft capital they have to trade. I'm not saying the Thunder would do it. I'm just saying I think it's a really interesting thought experiment.
Yeah, I mean, if they get bounced by San Antonio or whatever.
If the Thunder don't win it this year and they're like, well, shit, maybe Jalen Williams doesn't have a good playoff game, like they're going to have to move off pieces eventually. They're already talking about potentially moving Hartenstein and Dort potentially at the deadline. I've heard their names come up in rumors because they just don't have you can't do it now with this cap. So that'd be a really interesting spot that I think actually could turn into something in the summer depending on how the playoffs go.
Yeah, the only other team that I would like to see Giannis entertain would be the Knicks, just because he's never played in a big market. Like the Knicks haven't had, I mean, they have Brunson, but they haven't had like a massive superstar in New York since Carmelo, I guess.
They've never had anybody as good as Giannis ever.
Exactly. And Giannis has never played in a big market, so I think that would just be fun for the NBA. And like as a fan, I would love to see him play in New York.
The only with New York is they don't have any picks to trade, so it's just
it's got to be Cat.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine.
But Cat hasn't even been playing well. Like, I don't think Cat and this team are a great match in the first place.
No, I don't see a package New York could draw up for them to really pull the trigger on that. Now, what do we think about the Lakers? They actually do have some draft capital in the bank. If they were to make it, they could trade this year's first, a 31st, and a 32. And then you throw in pick swaps and, maybe Reeves. I mean, I think that'd get the job done alone, and then salary match. That would be a pretty damn good package if I'm Milwaukee. At least you get a young superstar, not super young, but young-ish, and you get potential picks, that maybe down the line could work.
You get Luka and Giannis together.
That would be scary.
That's been like the dream as Mavs fans since like 2000.
And how happy would LeBron be? I think that'd be a deal where LeBron said, "Okay, I'll sign on a cheap deal if y'all go get Giannis."
God, yeah.
Are you kidding me? Like
the only thing, the star power on that team might be too devastating to stop, but I think you would have some of the issues that we were talking about earlier with the Warriors, where like that team is already so deficient in depth and talent outside of the top tier talent they have. Like, you move off that, you have 2 monster contracts, like you're going to be razor thin at your other. I mean, not saying I wouldn't do it from the Lakers, I'd do it in a heartbeat. You get Luka and Giannis, you figure it out later.
Yeah.
But like they're going to have some serious problems filling out the rest of that roster.
Yeah. I mean, my only other thing too is like I know the Lakers have talked about moving off of Reeves already, but I kind of feel like you're facing the same window with like LeBron has to stay for that to work. Like Luka and Giannis would be amazing, but if LeBron's just gonna leave in the summer, then like now you're still razor thin and what? Like you have Luka, Giannis, and now you have a really thin team without Reeves. So I just don't know how it sets the Lakers up in the future if all of that doesn't align perfectly for them.
Yeah, and then there's also the sleeping giant San Antonio, who could easily make maybe the best package outside the Thunder.
They could do the deal in a heartbeat.
Yeah, they could if they want to. It just, I don't know, the Spurs, it's weird. It's like they have all these great pieces and assets, but I don't know, man.
I almost feel like from the
feels kind of
Spurs, I just
scary
don't wanna
holding on
touch
to
it.
it when Giannis is out there and gettable. We don't see guys like this open up a lot.
No.
And I know their young core is great, but
it's scary on the flip side too, though, because like if you make the deal, it's gonna be around Harper or Castle. I mean, it almost has to be. There actually is a way. I saw someone do the trade machine where it was like Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell, Harrison Barnes, Shohan, and like Julian Champagne, and like 7 picks, because they've got so many picks from all these other different teams, so it wouldn't just be San Antonio picks. And actually the salaries would work, and you could actually have a lineup of Castle, De'Aaron Fox, Harper, Giannis, and Wemby.
that'd be crazy.
It'd be I mean,
terrifying.
you'd have nothing else, but like that starting 5 would be horrifying. And it would work salary-wise for at least a couple years, and then you obviously have to figure out some other stuff. Probably Fox is gone after that, but yeah, I mean, they're the sleeping giant, like you said, with the deal. I mean, they have the easiest path to make it if they want.
A lot of options out there for old Giannis. But James Harden traded. What are our thoughts?
The Cavs are idiots.
Yeah, I don't.
Cavs are
I
morons.
actually hate it if I'm the Cavs. Like I don't really understand what it does. Like, I agree you need to move off of Garland at some point, but I just don't think Harden's the guy. He hasn't done. We've seen him in the playoffs numerous times, over and over again. And so, if your goal is to advance in the playoffs, Harden is not the answer.
And that's been their issue. It's not like they've been a
Exactly.
bad regular season team. They were the 1 seed last year. I mean, like, they have no problem winning games in the regular season. Like, their issue's always been the postseason, and they just traded for like the worst playoff performer, arguably, of the 21st century. Like, everywhere he goes, this guy chokes in the postseason. I get Garland, and the Garland Mitchell fit wasn't ideal from the get-go, and there was always kind of rumblings about it. But I mean, Garland is still a really good young player. I mean, the guy averages like 18 and 7. I know he's got injury problems. He's still a young guard. He's already made a couple All-Star games. Like, to give up Garland and then to also have to give up a pick to get a 36-year-old James Harden, who, he's playing well right now, but I mean, does anybody think the Cavs get out of the East now? With Harden, like, I don't.
The biggest knock on Garland was always his defense. Like, he's always been a defensive liability, but now you go get Harden, and that doesn't fix anything. Again, like,
Well, I think James Harden right now is going to give your team a better shot to win than Garland. And I know James Harden's been poop in the playoffs forever, but I mean, the guy's still averaging 26 and 10 right now. And
I just don't. Go ahead, sorry.
I was saying, I wonder as well, like I mentioned this to you earlier, how they're wondering if Donovan Mitchell wants to re-sign. I wonder if that's a move they're making to be like, okay, Donovan, is this going to keep you around if we go get James Harden, take some pressure off you, let him take the ball up a little bit, since Garland's proven he can't be healthy and be out there and play with you?
I mean, but on the flip side of that, because obviously this was all contract based around Harden wanting out. Like, I'm assuming that their agent, that Harden's agent, has talked to Cleveland. Like, okay, they're going to give you an extension. What if in the first round of the postseason, Harden's horrible, they get bounced, and then they've re-upped Harden for a 3-year, $120 million deal? Like that could backfire on Mitchell like that because you're stuck then. There's really nothing you can do. Now, the one thing I do like about it, I think it could even unlock Mobley a little more. I mean, we've seen Harden with those rim running centers before who dominate in the paint. Like, he's really good at getting them the ball in spots for them to score. I think that could really expedite Mobley's development. He's already arguably a top 20 player in the league, but you could see a lot of improvement from him with Harden as his point guard.
I mean, yeah, he's definitely a better playmaker overall than Garland. Yeah. I just don't think it aligns with like Cleveland's goal of we need to improve in the playoffs. Like you said, Luke, they've always been, or not always, but last year they were one of the best teams in the regular season going into the playoffs, and then obviously they had issues in the playoffs with Garland's injuries and stuff like that. But I mean, Harden as a playoff answer just has never worked. So that's where it kind of doesn't make sense for me at all.
Yeah, it doesn't really seem like it cures the playoff deficiencies that have plagued them for 5 years. I mean, they've been dominant in the regular season. They've been always a top 4 seed for about half a decade now. So
he's good for the Clippers, though. You get a young guy you can roll the dice on.
It's
See
amazing.
what you get for him. I mean, you may as well. They're already good enough now to where they're probably, going to get that pick back this year. So, but
I love it for the Clippers. I think that's brilliant. I mean, to get off Harden and get a point guard who's 10 years younger, who's got as much talent as Garland's insane. That was a fantastic deal for them.
And you get a second-round pick for whatever that matters.
Yeah, I love it for the Clippers.
Second trade, Jaren Jackson Jr. going to Utah. A lot of players in this deal. Walter Clayton was in there. I think it was 3 future first-round picks. A lot of guys on the move. I'm going to pull up the exact deal here, but what are our thoughts, initial reactions on that one?
I'm just waiting to see if there's something else that's going to happen, because if you're Utah, I don't understand giving up all of your picks for Jaren Jackson.
And
now who do you have?
And 2 first-round picks you've taken in the last 2-year drafts. Clayton and Hendricks.
Yeah.
They're both their first-round picks the last 2 years.
And that's very, not Danny Ainge. I feel like he's not one to give up picks at all, especially his last 2 first-round picks. So I'm confused. I'm there has to be a bigger move at play here.
I don't know. I don't necessarily hate it for Utah. I feel like for Utah, it's obviously trading these picks, you're assuming those picks aren't going to be that valuable. And Utah, I mean, they're never going to sign a free agent ever. I mean, it's fucking Utah. And, you got a pretty decent nucleus now. You got Keontae George as a young star, Markkanen, Walker Kessler, and Jaren Jackson. I feel like it's not the worst roster in the world. And, for the Jazz, maybe they're let's just try to be competitive. Because, what else is the answer? I don't know. Because they're not going to get anyone. And Jaren Jackson Jr., he's only 26. He kind of fits the timeline at least a little bit. And it's not like you gave up King's ransom for him at the end of the day. So
I just don't get it with how they've been tanking the last few years and trying to build out this team. You just drafted Ace Bailey, and you just drafted Walter Clayton, in July? He was another first-round pick. Hendricks was the first-round pick the year before that. They've been stockpiling all these assets. It just feels it feels odd for them to dip into that pool of resources that they've built up for Jaren Jackson, who is a top 40 player in the league. The guy gets 5 rebounds a game at 7 feet tall. He's a good shot blocker and he can shoot the ball. But your 2 best players are Jaren Jackson and Lauri Markkanen.
Keontae George by the end of the season might be the best player for them.
Could be. But even
it feels very counterintuitive.
I just don't get it.
You've been tanking the past 3-4 years, and then it seems like all of that was for nothing, and now you're trading away everything you tanked for Jaren Jackson.
I wonder what picks they gave up.
Let me look. But they have more picks because they've made the trades in the past. They have all the T-Wolves picks from the Gobert trade.
Right.
They got a few more there. They got a few from the Donovan deal.
That's what I'm thinking. If they gave up a bunch of Timberwolves picks and Cleveland picks, then okay.
It makes a little bit more sense.
But if they gave up their own picks, that's pretty high ransom for a guy who's not really that much of an impact player.
The exact deal was Jaren Jackson, John Conchar, Vince Williams, and Jock Landell for Walter Clayton, Kyle Anderson, Taylor Hendricks, Georges Niang. And it just says, the 3 future picks Lakers 2027 pick, top
It's a
4
nothing.
protected, nothing. Either the Cavs, T-Wolves, or Jazz own 27 pick, whichever's the most favorable.
Ooh.
So, I mean, Cavs, T-Wolves, Jazz, I wouldn't think it's going to be a top 5 pick.
I mean, you got. I think that's a really good pick. You got 3 different. You're going to get the best out of 3 teams. Like, you just never know.
Cavs and T-Wolves are probably going to be on the
Probably
second half of the first round. And the Jazz, if they're making this deal, they're trying to be competitive. So you would think that. I mean, what's the highest that pick goes? 8 or 9, and then the most favorable pick, they traded the Suns 2031 pick, which is unprotected.
Oh,
So that's definitely
That sucks.
the one that has the most value for sure.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it doesn't really make sense. I almost wonder if Utah is just like, we just want to get back to being relevant and being a somewhat winning team, because since they traded Gobert and Donovan, they've had nothing going for them at all.
No.
Cole, your point, I think, is the only way that this makes a little bit of sense. Is you're right. Utah's never going to get anybody in free agency. No one's ever going to
Yep.
go to Utah in general. And so, yeah, maybe they're just thinking like, how can we just climb this ladder of relevancy? And this is the best we can do right now. But I still don't love it.
And
Like,
Jaren does fit the timeline. He's young.
yeah,
And the Jazz, they still got a pretty decent amount of picks left. I mean, they actually have a lot of picks still. So they could make another move at some point as well. So I mean, think of yourself, Keontae George becomes an All-NBA guy. You got Laurie, Jaren Jackson, Walker Kessler. If Ace Bailey takes a step, like, it could be a spicy team in a few years.
I'm wondering if this was Danny Ainge's hedge to then go after his white whale and Giannis. Like, I'm wondering if, because he's still got all the picks. Marketing is a very easily tradable contract. You've got Kessler, who's a young player that'd be really attractive to Milwaukee in a deal. Like, you could put a package easily around Laurie Marketing, Walker Kessler, and some of their picks, and you could go get Giannis. I'm just wondering if maybe that was his thinking in trying to go get Jackson, because like you said, Dylan, there's got to be some other move that they're working on. Because
Jaren Jackson and Giannis would be filthy.
oh my God! Now Keontae George is a great player. He's a good young guy, but I think you'd still probably have to go get another guard to make it to be like a real threat. But I like you said, there's just this doesn't feel like it for the Jazz. Like, I don't understand if this is the only move you planned on, where this gets you. Now, if there's other moves in the pipeline, I see why you do it and you give up some of those picks.
Yeah, but I mean, I just don't hate it because, like, this isn't all we're thinking. This probably isn't their only move, and they didn't give up everything to make the move. So I mean, they still got a lot of other chess pieces to play with.
Yeah.
So, and even if maybe in next offseason, if Giannis is in the talks, maybe Ace Bailey's a guy you go throw for Giannis if you don't buy into his development. Then all of a sudden you got a spicy team.
On the flip side, though, for the Grizzlies, A+, A+,
Yeah.
I mean, what they have done with moving off of Desmond Bane for 4 first-round picks and a pick swap, and now moving off Jaren Jackson for 3 first-round picks, and you can kind of say 5 because you got Walker Clayton and Taylor Hendricks. Taylor Hendricks was the 8 pick 2 years ago. Walker
Can't stay
Clayton,
healthy, though.
huh?
He can't stay.
No, I
healthy.
know, but like he's still got a ton of talent. He's super young.
Yeah,
like
he
you
could be
just got
okay.
Walker or Clayton. So like you kind of just got 5 first-round picks for this deal. I love this if you're the Grizzlies fan. Like you're gonna suck for a long time, but like your front office knows what they're doing, which is a nice place to be at least.
I'm interested to see what's the move with Ja now.
Yeah,
I've been seeing that, like, at this point, people are like, if you can just get a first and a salary dump, trade them.
that's crazy.
That's what I've been seeing reports on that. Like, they're saying if a team can give us an expiring deal with 1 pick, we'll take it. And I mean, you may as well. You're already at this point. You traded Bane, you traded Jaren, you traded Ja. But yeah, I mean, I like it too. I mean, it's better than keeping this nucleus together, which has no shot in the world of making a real run. I mean, we saw that even with Ja in his prime and Jaren Jackson playing great with Bane. Like there was no shot. Like.
No. But to get 7 first-round picks and a pick swap on top of some other young guys for Desmond Bane and Jaren Jackson is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Now, everyone's talking about the Wolves going to get Giannis. I wonder, because the Wolves made a subtle move today, and they dumped Mike Conley's salary, which cleared up, I think, $11 million for him in the Jaden Ivey to the Chicago trade. So they're also working on something. I think it's Giannis, but it could be Ja. And, like, he's one of the few teams that I think it makes sense. Like, I understand, like, I don't know how an Ant Edwards, Ja Morant backcourt. I mean, that's
Jesus
a terrifying
Christ.
backcourt. Like,
That's a
ton of
terrifying
talent.
PR nightmare.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of moving parts there, but, like, Minnesota made a subtle move today that kind of signals we're doing something. So I'm wondering.
I could just not see Ja and Ant working at all.
Probably not. They
Just
probably end up
like-
hating each other. But, like, I mean, if
No,
you're
I think they
Minnesota,
love
like,
each other. That's the bigger issue.
if you're Minnesota, I think that's a calculated risk I'd really consider taking. Because, again, like Utah, you're not getting free agents in Minnesota.
No.
Like, so, you go take a shot on Ja Morant, and if he's awesome, I mean, if he gets back to form, you've got the best backcourt in the league for the next at least 5 years. So,
Yeah, I mean, you're buying them at the absolute lowest stock.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
like, I feel like for any team like them, if you give up a salary dump and one pick,
Yeah.
I mean, you have nothing to lose.
no.
Like, literally.
Yeah.
Like, but any other trades, ideas you want to touch on here?
I mean, the Bulls moved Nikolai Vucevic to the Celtics for Anthony Sims. I don't know what the Bulls are doing. The Bulls
Yeah,
today.
I don't think we've known what they're doing for the last
Well,
10
I mean,
years.
Bulls,
like,
yeah, I was
they've-
gonna say the Bulls haven't known what they're doing in 10 years.
They've got Colby White, who's a good player. Ayu he's been fantastic this year. And then you just trade for Jaden Ivey, and now you bring in Anthony Simons. Like, you're just overloading a backcourt that, like, was already kind of one of the strengths of your team if you could include Giddey, who's kind of running the show anyway at the small forward spot. Like, I don't understand. I mean, you're right. No one's understood what the Bulls have been doing since Michael Jordan really left. But, like, why are you stockpiling guards? Like, what are you doing?
For this trade, the top Reddit comment goes, Bulls with the rare 5-point guard lineup.
Yeah, like, I mean, what are we doing?
Yeah, I don't. The Bulls, like, I at least respect, like, the Jazz and the Grizzlies, for doing something that seems like there's a direction of the franchise. The Bulls, like, either pinch the shit off, like, tear it all down or go, do something instead of this shit. If I'm a Bulls
I
fan,
think
I'm
the-
furious. I'm like, what
Yeah,
the
I was
hell?
about to say-
What are you supposed to look at and have any hope for? Like,
I think Bulls fans are in the biggest purgatory hell of any fan base in the NBA right now.
Who did they move
like-
again? Who did the Bulls trade?
it was Simons for Voos.
No. In the Pistons trade, they gave up a forward.
Oh, the Ivy trade today?
Yeah,
Let me look that up.
because, like, I mean, I think Ivy still has a bunch of upside. Like, if I'm a Bulls fan, I'm at least kind of excited to see if maybe Jaden Ivey can blossom into a star. But, like, other than that,
So it was Jaden Ivey to Chicago, 3-team deal. The Bulls received Ivy, Mike Conley. The Pistons got Kevin Werder, Dario
that's who it was.
Saric, and a 2026 first-round swap with Minnesota, protected 1 through 19. So,
Okay.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
a lot of just
I-
meh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, who cares, honestly? And then, yeah, Minnesota got a trade exception out of the deal. So,
Yeah.
yeah, big whoop. But,
I think that was all the trades that have gone down so far.
yeah, and
Yeah.
there's probably going to be a lot more going down the next
Yeah.
day or two.
It kind of felt like the trade deadline today, like a trade hit every, like, 2 hours, like from like
Yeah,
10 a.m.
I
to,
feel like
2.
the dominoes started to fall today.
Well, I'm wondering if, because I've been hearing so many people, like, the front office activity throughout the season so far has been next to nothing, and everyone's been like, well, it's because people are waiting to see what happens with Giannis. I'm wondering if this is also signaling to everyone that, like, Giannis isn't getting moved at the deadline, that Milwaukee's
Yeah.
holding him. They're going to sit him out for the rest of the year, trade him in the offseason. Because I feel like now the only thing that counteracts that is the Wolves moving Conley, because that opens up cap space for him, and that trade exception, which they can then send out. That can help clear the cap. So it does help the T-Wolves if they're trying to make a Giannis move now, but I'm wondering if these deals are starting to trickle in now because Milwaukee's signaled to the league Giannis is sticking around until the summer.
And that would make sense to me. Like,
Yeah.
like we said earlier, if you're Milwaukee, or if I'm Milwaukee, I'm sitting Giannis out for the rest of the year, and I'm just taking my time with that trade.
Yeah.
All right, we got some tier lists. I'll get mine out of the way. You got the West, right?
Yeah.
All right, I got the East here. So I'm just going to start at the bottom, go to the top. So our bottom tier, we got the Tankers, and this is the Milwaukee Bucks. Obviously now we're assuming they're going for the full tank, probably going to sit Giannis. The Nets, I mean, they're 13-35, a joke. Wizards 13-35, and Pacers they're 13-37. So this is a rare year where we got these teams tanking hard. Because I mean, this draft class is absolutely loaded.
Yeah.
Second tier, we have the play-in heroes. This is the Chicago Bulls, who we just mentioned on, and the Atlanta Hawks. It seems like these two teams are right in the play-in every year, and maybe they'll get lucky and squeak in as the 8th seed and get slaughtered in the first round. Not much to be said on these teams. They're mid as fuck. Probably going to be a play-in team, get bounced.
They're on the never-ending treadmill.
Yep. Next team, I have the Hornets, and they're in one tier by themselves. It's called the loading tier. So the Hornets are 23-28, but they're 8-2 in their last 10. And they actually have a positive net rating, and they've been balling recently. LaMelo's starting to work. Knipple looks great. Brandon Miller's playing really good. And their center's been good, too. We're finally seeing all of these guys healthy, and they're kind of an exciting team. Been seeing a lot of people say they're the kind of the team on League Pass that you wouldn't expect.
Yeah, they're like the League Pass
be
team.
in the rankings, but they're a fun, spicy team. We saw them play the Mavs the other night in an absolute awesome game. Knipple dropped damn near 40, but I think at this point, if I'm a Hornets fan, I'm kind of excited about the future for the first time in a very long time.
They're on their longest win streak in 25 years right now.
Yeah.
7.
Yeah.
So.
And they're still 23-28.
They're still 11.
But I at least wouldn't have put these ahead of Bulls and Hawks because I at least feel like this team has a direction and identity, and that they're fun at least. So they're in the loading tier. Our next tier, we have first round exit. This is the Toronto Raptors, the Miami Heat, and the Orlando Magic. The Raptors have been a good team this year. They're 30-21. Ingram, Scotty Barnes has worked out pretty well. Quickly's been, decent form. RJ Barrett, the whole thing. But I just, even though they're fourth in the East right now, I just don't see this team getting out of the first round. I really don't. Maybe they could be competitive in a first round series. I just don't see it working in the playoff time. And same thing with the Heat and the Magic. The Magic, their defense was awesome last year. It's fallen off this year. Mosley looks like he's not even – the team's not in it. The coaching staff looks like he has no grip on the roster. The team's been better without Paulo in there, and Desmond Bane's kind of been holding them up for a little bit now. Franz has been in and out of the lineup. And then the Miami Heat, another team, it's just they're middling. They're okay. They're not good. They're not bad. They're probably going to get in as like the 7th seed and get bounced in the first round.
You never want to see Spoelstra as a 7th seed or 8th seed, though. Just saying.
We got any comments on the tiers to this point, or pretty straightforward?
No, I have no issue with it. I think the Magic are one of the most underwhelming teams so far this year. I mean, you made the Desmond Bane trade. You've got a ton of talent there. You've got Suggs, you've got Black, you've got Desmond Bane, you've got Paulo, you've got Franz, you've still got Jonathan Isaac when he's playing. You've got a lot of players, and this was kind of supposed to be the year where they're like, all right, Paulo takes the leap. They're going to be a 1 or 2 seed, and it's just not worked out.
Yeah, and they've lost their identity. Their defense, I think, is now 13th in the NBA. It was second last year. And they've lost the one thing that they had going for them. Yeah. So second to top tier, we have Frisky Baby, and this is Cleveland and Philadelphia. Cleveland, obviously, today we see him trade for James Harden. I think that the trade, obviously, we already talked about this. I think for the future, it's kind of questionable. But I think for right now, James Harden makes this team more competitive. You can say what you want about him in the playoffs. There's probably a good shot he's going to fall on his face again, but I think if I'm Cleveland, I'm more confident, and I know Harden will at least probably be available for me in the playoffs and can unlock Mobley, can take some of the workload off Donovan Mitchell. And I don't think they're a real threat, but I could see a world where Cleveland makes a little run. James Harden figures out some of the playoff lumps. Donovan Mitchell, we know, is going to be lights out in the playoffs. And, if Mobley and, Jared Allen can do their thing, they could be frisky. And then Sixers, kind of the same thing. They've been up and down this year. Paul George is now out for 25 games. He got suspended. But Joel Embiid, shout out to him. He's looking really good right now. He's played better. He's been healthy. Tyrese Maxey breakout season. They probably don't have enough guns to make a serious run, but if things click, I wouldn't be shocked if they, can win a round, maybe potentially get to a conference finals. Because the talent is there for these teams, and if they are clicking, they can make it. But it's just they still got a lot of question marks.
I don't know how Embiid does it. He's playing on one leg.
I don't either.
He's been awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paul George shot himself up with a horse tranquilizer and looked like he was 2018 playoff George again. Dude, he looked awesome. Everyone was like, my God, look at him. He's been fantastic again. It's like, oh, yeah, he was on PED. That makes sense. Literally.
You don't just do that.
Yeah, like, no, you were horrible last year. Something's wrong.
They're like, maybe we don't regret paying him this money.
Yeah. Like, wow, this was a good trade. Nope.
And then my last tier, Beast of the East, and I don't even know if these teams are really beasts, but for the East, I guess they're the Beast. I think we all agreed the West is probably taking it this year, but I got the Pistons, Celtics, and the Knicks. I definitely have the Knicks on like the bottom tier of this tier. They went 2-9 after their play-in, or after their midseason tournament win over San Antonio. They've won 6 straight though. They're still 31-18. I think this team, we've seen Jalen Brunson in the playoffs turn it on. They have the talent, but they're on the low tier of this spectrum. And then we have the Pistons, second best defense in the league right now, 11th best offense. Cade Cunningham's been great for them. But, I mean, they're the top dogs in the East right now. It's kind of hard to argue with against the numbers and the record. And then Boston, who's obviously the sleeping giant. They've been doing all of this without Jason Tatum. And I think if they do get Jason Tatum back, they're probably in a tier of their own. Obviously, we've seen this team when they're healthy, if they have all their guys going, they're pretty scary. And maybe a team that could even give a Western Conference team a run for their money. But for right now, I think these 3 teams have kind of established themselves as the alphas in the East. So that's my tier list.
I got no real problems. I really like that you actually put the Knicks up there, because if you take out that 2-9 stretch, they've been exactly what they were supposed to be. They've been great all year. And, like, they probably have the most talent with Tatum out right now, top to bottom of anybody in the East. And, Tatum was there last year, and they beat him anyway. So I like the conviction to keep the Knicks in that upper echelon with the top 3 teams. I think that's the correct move.
Yeah, I agree. The Celtics have probably been the most surprising team for me this year. Like, I think everybody thought with Tatum out, they were kind of going to go into not as bad as the Pacers, but just kind of somewhat of a rebuild year. And with Brown, they've still looked extremely competitive. So,
yeah, Celtics have been awesome.
All right, well, let's get to the real conference here.
You ready for the West?
Buzzsaw's Western Conference tier list, baby.
Let's go, baby. God, miss this. All right, Western Conference tiers. These are facts, not opinions. Bottom tier. Burn the beam. The Sacramento Kings. This fan base should go light this team on fire. If you are a Sacramento Kings fan, I feel horrible for you. This team is like, I think they have the worst record in the league outside of me. I think they're like one of the 2 or 3 worst records. Your starting lineup is made up of Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Russell Westbrook, and Domantas Sabonis, who's missed a ton of time. All these guys have missed time. Westbrook has been your most consistent starter.
That's bad.
You just moved off
really bad.
Keon Ellis and Dennis Schroeder. Keon Ellis was going for like a first-round pick. Like, you could have he was an asset for you. You moved him for DeAndre Hunter. Like, what are you doing? You could have moved Dennis Schroeder to Minnesota, for example. They need a point guard. Like, you moved 2 good assets for DeAndre Hunter for a team that's going absolutely nowhere but into the ground. The Sacramento Kings, I think, are the biggest dumpster fire in the league. They just try to tread water, and they can't even tread water like the Bulls or the Hawks. They're just horrible. This team needs to relocate and get everyone in that front office out of there. They're the bottom, probably of the whole league, but for sure of the Western Conference. Next tier, bad. But they know what they're doing. The Memphis Grizzlies. They're going to be horrible. They just traded Jaren Jackson. We know Bane left in the offseason. Edey's been out for over a month. Ja's probably on the move soon. But this team actually has a plan. So while Sacramento has probably more talent than Memphis, I would much rather be a Memphis fan, and I'd much rather be rooting for Memphis going forward into the next 5-10 years, because this front office at least knows what they're doing. They're moving players for the right price, they're stocking up assets, and they're building for the future. So while they're probably worse than the Kings on paper, they're in a tier above them because they at least have a plan and know what the hell they're doing, whereas Sacramento knows nothing about running a basketball team. All right, next here. What are we doing? The Jazz. You've been tanking for 4 years, probably longer than that, 4 or 5 years now. You just moved 3 first-round picks for Jaren Jackson. He's a nice player. I don't really know where it gets you. The next one, the Clippers. I really like the Garland move. You still have Kawhi Leonard and Ivica Zubac on your team. Like, this is still a win-now team. Like, I like the move in the direction of the young player with Garland, but you now have contrasting timelines with your team now. They got to figure out what they're doing. Next one, New Orleans Pelicans. What are we doing? We got Zion Williamson. He can't stay healthy. You've been trying to get this guy in shape. You've been trying to run this guy into a face of the league caliber player. It's not working out. You had a hell of a draft. You got Jeremiah Fears. You got Derek Queen, who looks like a stud. But you again now have 2 conflicting timelines with this Jordan Poole, Zion Williamson dynamic with some of these really young guys. They've got to pick a direction soon and pick which way they want to go. And the last one, Dallas Mavericks. I think we know which way they're going to go. Obviously, they're going to go with Flag, but they haven't done it yet. You've got Anthony Davis, you've got Kyrie Irving, you've got Najee Marshall, Klay Thompson, Daniel Gafford, D'Angelo Russell, all of these guys who are nowhere near Flag's timeline. They need to make a decision, probably in the offseason, to go full in on Flag. But right now, again, 2 contrasting timelines. We don't know what they're doing. All 4 of these teams are out of the playoffs. Maybe one of them pushes in for a play-in spot. But they all need to pick a direction and figure out what their plan is for the next 5 years. Next tier, this is another solo team. Tier's titled, Bravo. Way to go. Portland Trailblazers. You've done great this year. You've overexceeded expectations. You've got an all-star in Deni Avdija, who Washington threw away, and basically the whole league threw away. You got Drew Holiday. You got Dame coming back for a little renaissance year next year. This team's not really going anywhere, but they're a feel-good story this year. They're going to make the play-in a really hard Western Conference, and you've kind of got a new player to build around now in Deni. So while obviously the Blazers aren't moving any needles and they're not going to be pushing into the second round of the playoffs, I think if you're a Blazers fan, you're really happy this year. All right, next tier, yin and yang. We've got the Phoenix Suns and the Golden State Warriors. These 2 teams could not be more different from each other in terms of personnel, style of play, basically everything about these teams, yet they're basically the exact same team. They're both like 30-20. They're both going to be like the 7, 8, 6 seed, and they're going to get absolutely torched in the first round of the playoffs. 2 very different teams, but both actually having pretty decent seasons, and both seasons are going to end basically the exact same way. Next one, good, but no idea what they're doing. The Los Angeles Lakers. The Lakers, they can just walk ass backwards into a bucket of gold in the middle of the night if they want to. They fleeced the Mavs almost a year ago to the day getting Luka, yet have failed for almost over a calendar year to put any resemblance of a team that fits around Luka's skill set, and they're going to burn another year of his prime going out in probably the first round of the playoffs in 5 games. This team has no talent outside of the top 3 guys. Rui Hachimura needs to go. Gabe Vincent needs to go. Marcus Smart needs to go. Jackson Hayes is your starting center because DeAndre Ayton can't stay on the floor and J.J. Redick hates him. This team has no clue what they're doing. This front office has had no idea what they're doing since probably 2011. LeBron saved them in 2018 when he just chose to go there for no reason. Saved him, brought Anthony Davis there. Now they just want to backstab him and talk that he's been the problem with this horribly run organization. And then they walk ass backwards into Luka and still can't figure it out. They're good. They're gonna be a top 6 team in the West because they have one of the best players in the world on their team. But in reality, they have no clue what they're doing. All right. Now we're into the Big 5. This next tier picked the wrong horse. We got 2 teams. We got the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Houston Rockets. I put them together and titled this Picked the Wrong Horse because Kevin Durant's top 2 teams coming into the offseason were the Houston Rockets and the Minnesota Timberwolves. And he picked the wrong horse. If he had gone to Minnesota with Anthony Edwards and Naz Reid and Gobert and Jaden McDaniels and Julius Randle, they would have had to move one of them. This team would be competing with the Thunder, the Nuggets, and the Spurs. Instead, he went to Houston. They're a fine team. They do not have the guard play, and they do not have the outside shooting to compete with the top teams in the West. Sengun's fantastic. Amin Thompson looks like he's going to be a 10-time all-defensive player in his career. They have no guard play. And because of that, they're not going to be able to get out of the second round. If he had gone to the Wolves, I think it's a much different story. All right, second to last here, King Kong and Godzilla. Victor Wembanyama and the San Antonio Spurs, and Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets. These are the two top contenders outside of the Thunder. You've got probably the two most generational players we've seen since LeBron James and Kevin Durant and Steph Curry come out in Jokic and Wemby. There's two guys who no one has ever played like them before. When they're on, I think they're the two best players in the league. Like, if Victor Wembanyama is right, shooting the ball well, I don't think anybody could stop him. He's already the best defensive player in the league, and then we know Jokic. When those two guys are on, they're fantastic, and both organizations have finally put real pieces around them. Obviously, the Nuggets won it a few years ago, but what they've done with Peyton Watson, Jamal Murray, they're going to get Cam Johnson back. We know what Aaron Gordon is. They're going to be a force to be reckoned with once they're healthy, and if they get to go up against the Thunder again fully healthy this year, I think it's a different outcome. Spurs, we know what they got. Castle, Harper, Fox. They've got a ton of depth outside of that, and they've got Wemby. These are the top contenders. But, unfortunately for them, they've got one team left in their tier by themselves. This tier is titled the Weenie Champs. This is the Oklahoma City Thunder. Everyone loves the Thunder. They're the analytical dream child of basketball. They barely made it out of a horrible playoff set last year. They barely got past a hurt Nuggets team. They barely got past one of the worst finals teams we've seen in the Indiana Pacers. I've got to give them respect. They have the best record in the league. They're the 1 seed. They're the defending champion. I don't respect them, though, at all, and I really, really want, and I do think if the Nuggets or Spurs are healthy, I think they'll take them out. But right now, the Thunder are still on top, but they're weenies. So they're sticking at number 1.
I know you're an SGA hater, but he is once again having one of the best seasons a point guard has ever had in the history of basketball.
I put him number 1. What do you mean to do?
I'm just saying.
Can't do anything else.
You didn't even bitching it.
It's perfect. I can bitch about him, but I still put him 1. It's great.
Yeah, a lot to digest there.
I mean, I have no real issues with the list.
Yeah, I don't really have
I
any
thought it was
issues.
really nice.
I guess one thing, like, if I guess I'll say anything, like the Lakers. Like, I know you're saying they don't know what they're doing and all that, but they haven't really had a chance to build around Luka yet. And when they made the move for him last year, I think they kind of knew it was going to take some time to develop around him. And, I mean, they still have LeBron's contract hanging around him. And, I mean, it's not like they had any cap in the offseason or anything. And that's, why they signed DeAndre Ayton, who's a joke and is a baby. But I like, but they have Luka, and I'm confident they'll figure out something moving forward. And at least for them, they know the blueprint. Dallas showed the blueprint with Luka, how to win with them.
But like they can't compete with the 5 teams above them. Though.
No, not right
this
now.
Year,
yeah,
like,
not right now. Yeah. But I think that in the future they'll be fine. I mean, what did you had? Did you have Memphis in their own tier?
Yeah, second to last.
And it was called what?
Bad, but knows what they're doing.
And then the next one was what are we doing?
What are we doing?
Okay.
And then Bravo, Yin Yang, good, no idea what they're doing.
Yeah,
and then the top 5.
Yeah, I don't really have any issues with it. It's hard to argue.
I like your wrong horse. Pick the wrong horse tier. That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right? If KD had gone to Minnesota.
Yeah, it's a way different story.
Oh my God. It'd be so much fun. Honestly, I think losing Fred VanVleet, he's old. Who knows if he would have still been good enough to put them into the top echelon, but at least they would have had a shot. Now they're relying on Amin Thompson, who's not really a point guard, and Reed Shepherd.
Who's been playing well, but
Yeah.
Especially as you get into the playoffs, you need that like steady veteran point guard to kind of control everything.
Dude, if they play the Thunder,
Oh,
the Thunder are literally it's going to be the worst 2 weeks of Reed Shepherd's life. He is going to hate his life for 2 weeks. I mean, they are going to kill him.
Yeah.
All the bodies they're going to throw at him. Lou Dort's going to be just knocking him to the floor. Cason Wallace is going to be ripping him 50 feet from the basket.
They're gonna be just pressing him full court.
God. They're gonna do like half court traps on him like they used to do to me when I was like 8. It's gonna be bad.
It's gonna look like a schoolgirl game.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, and he's not the schoolgirl.
No. All right. Well, that's the tiers for us. Our last section here, we got our mid-season awards. We'll just start off with the halfway through mid-season MVP. Who y'all picking here?
Hang on, just real quick.
Yeah.
This is a Bleacher Report update, but to take it with a grain of salt. Lakers a very viable threat to land Buck's star if he makes it to the offseason. That trade you were just saying, the Reeves, that's got to be the package.
Oh, it's got to be.
But
and they have enticing picks. Like,
yeah.
I mean,
they kept him because we didn't get them all in the Luka trade.
Oh yeah,
Nico's a terrorist. All right, sorry.
Oh, you're good. All right. So for MVP, who y'all taking? Halfway through the season.
I mean, I'm taking SGA. He's averaging 32, 7, 5, and he's a point guard shooting 56% from the field. I mean, that's literally unheard of. He's on the best team in the league. He has the best record in the league. He's the defending champion, defending finals MVP, defending regular season MVP. He's looking like he's going to repeat, so.
It's hard to argue. And it's because Jokic has missed a month now. Like,
Sure,
I think if Jokic had been playing.
Well, I saw something. They said because he came back the other night, right? And if he plays the rest of the season, he'll be eligible.
Yeah.
So.
But like right now, mid-season, like
yeah,
you can't really argue him. I think the next one's Cade. I mean, very similar. Like I think he's averaging like 28, almost 10 assists a game. They're the 1 seed in the East, but I mean, I think the clear choice is Shea. As much as I don't really like it.
Yeah. All right, DPOY, probably another easy pick here.
Yeah,
Bananas.
this one doesn't really need explanation.
Yep, bananas. All right, well, let's just flop down to the rookie.
Oh, this is a good one.
Right now, it's Flag and Knipple are head and shoulders the favorites. Flag, in recent weeks, has become the bigger favorite, but Knipple is still in the running. So,
yeah, I think it's got to be Flag. I mean, these other guys, I don't think are on Flag's level, and I don't think they're even on Knipple's. But to throw out something like Derek Queen, VJ Edgecombe, like this rookie class is crazy.
Cedric Howard.
Cedric Howard's been fantastic. But yeah, I think it's got to be Flag. I mean, he's been just unbelievable.
Yeah, and he's only getting better every game.
Yeah, he's unbelievable.
Yeah.
All right, 6th Man of the Year award.
I'm gonna need some assistance on this one.
Yeah, I don't.
Here, we'll look up the odds right now and see who's the leader.
Because Peyton's now starting.
Let's see. So the current.
Isaiah Stewart's starting, isn't he?
So I can give you the odds here. So Naz Reid's the current favorite at plus 240. Keldon Johnson's at plus 400. AJ Mitchell, Jaime Jaquez, Anthony Simmons. Well, he traded now, so he's probably, Reed Shepherd, Isaiah Stewart, Grayson Allen, Anthony Black. I think Anthony Black's starting now, though.
Yeah.
But, Naz Reid's the clear favorite. Keldon Johnson, though, could be a sleeper pick.
That's
He's
pretty
been playing really
shocking, honestly. Like, you don't hear anything about... I mean, they've got so many players that, like, you don't really hear much about anyone outside of the 4, but good for Keldon Johnson to be up there.
He's been playing really well, and I know, like, this has nothing to do with him being 6th Man of the Year, but everybody says he's, like, the heart of that team. Like, obviously, he's not the best player. He's not even one of the top 3 players, but people seem to really rally around him, and I think that does do a lot, especially for a contending team like the Spurs.
Yeah. I'd probably go Nas. I mean, I think he's still averaging like 17 a game or something like that. I mean, did he win it last year? No, Peyton won it last year. I think he was second in voting for it last year. But, yeah, I mean, I'd probably go Nas. I mean, he really should be. He's the one guy on that list. And I think, honestly, Jaime Jaquez, who should probably be starting for their teams. Like they're not like actually the 6th best player. Like Nas is, I mean, shit, you can make a case Nas is their 3rd best player behind Randall and Ant. So I think I'm going Nas.
Okay. Most improved player right now, Denny Advia is the leader. He's at -145. After him, you got Jalen Johnson, Keontae George, Peyton Watson, Nikhil Alexander-Walker, Jalen Duran, and PJ Anthony Black.
Another
I think it's
great year for this award too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Denny's kind of hard to argue. I mean, he literally got traded for I don't even know what, and he's not going to be in this conversation. But if the 2 front runners didn't exist, he might be able to crack a few MVP conversations if his team wasn't god awful. But yeah, my pick is Denny.
I think I'd go Denny too, but I do want to make a case for Peyton Watson. Just because, like, when Denny got to Portland last year, he actually was really good. Like, in the second half of the year, Peyton Watson was like a nothing his whole career. And now this year, he's fantastic. I mean, he's been arguably their 3rd most valuable player this year behind Jamal and Jokic. I mean, he's been a stud for them. And I think where he was in his career, I mean, like a rotational guy at best, to now, I mean, like essential cog in one of the best teams in the league. Like probably their 4th best player when they're fully healthy. Well, you can make a case between him and Cam Johnson for their 4th best player behind Jokic, Jamal, and Aaron Gordon. So I'd throw out Peyton Watson for that award too.
Was Keontae George almost too good last year to win this award?
Yeah, he was.
I think so,
He
yeah.
was pretty good last year.
Yeah, because he averaged 17, 4 and 6. This year's at 24, 4 and 6. So, I mean, I think the
He's
gap.
averaging 24.
Yeah, he's balling the
He's
hell out.
balling,
yeah.
I
dude.
thought he was at like 18.
I mean,
Cole,
a lot
did
of
you say
people said
AJ
he should have made the
Mitchell?
All-Star game.
Yeah.
What's that?
You say AJ Mitchell?
Yeah, he was on here
Yeah,
too.
I'll throw him in. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't even remember him really playing that much last year.
I don't think he played at all.
Yeah. So.
It's kind of like the Peyton Watson thing. Like he came from literally nothing to what he is now.
Yeah, I mean, he went from 6 to 14.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah.
That's like Jalen Johnson. Like, yeah, he's been awesome. I mean, Jalen Johnson's been awesome for 2 years. Like, I know he keeps.
He's just too good to win it.
Yeah, like he's gotten better each year, but like he's already been great.
Yeah.
All right, last award, Coach of the Year right now, JB Bickerstaff's the current heavy favorite at -115. After him, you got Jordan Otta, the Suns, Joe Mazzulla, Mitch Johnson, David Adelman. A few names to mention here.
I mean, Bickerstaff's obviously the favorite. What he's done with that team is amazing over the last 2 years. But also, I want to give a shout out to Missoula. Like I said earlier, everybody thought this team was going to absolutely be terrible this year without Tatum. And the job he's done kind of even keeping the spirits up of the Celtics and getting the team to really rally behind Brown and play hard day in and day out. Like if you watch their games, they're one of the hardest playing teams in the league every day. So I think he should definitely be in that conversation as well.
Yeah, I'd throw in. I know we mentioned him, but I think he should get real considerations. Adelman. I mean, when Jokic went out, like people were like, "All right, well, he's going to be out, 5 weeks ish. Like, hopefully they can still be like the 5 or 6 seed. Like they'll probably be in the play-in when he comes back." He steadied the ship, and Jokic left, I think, as the 2 seed and came back as the 3 seed. And like this Nuggets team is not deep. Like they're not the Spurs, they're not the Thunder. Like to lose Jokic and to sustain that level of success for the month they did, I think is pretty impressive. And since it's a mid-season award, I'd probably lean him because of the job he's done for basically half that time that we're grading right now.
Also, Jordan Ott, too. I mean, I don't know anyone that thought the Suns would be competitive at all.
Yep.
And, I mean, now they're looking like they're probably going to get in the playoffs as a 6, 7 seed. So, all right, well, anything else?
I think that's it.
I think
All
we're good.
right. That's PTA Hoops, episode 1.